Hi, everybody. I hope that you're well. We are back with Better at Business, and today we're going to be looking at investments. So, grade 12s, what is an investment? An investment is anything that you put money into or that you buy in the hope that you're going to be getting more money from it. Okay, so you're either investing into your future when you are retiring, that you can live in the same position as you are now, or you're investing in something that you can get high returns, get a lot of money, and kind of buy the fancy car, the fancy house that you're wanting. So let's have a look at all the elements that we're going to be looking at today. This is the mind map for investments. The first part is investment strategies, which is a growth strategy, balanced, defensive, and conservative. And then we're going to be looking at our investment options. Now, the options fit all into those strategies. So we're going to understand what is a growth strategy and then have a look at what could possibly be in a growth strategy from our options. There are three key things that you need to remember when you are talking investments: risk, return on investment, and the time period. You are going to bring those three elements into everything that you can possibly talk about if they're asking for information about investments. There has been an IEB section C essay question on investments and insurance. So yeah, just make sure that you have enough information to talk 50 facts. Let's talk about what is risk. So risk in investments is generally the higher the risk, the higher the return. The lower the risk, the lower the return. Think of a casino. So if you go into a casino and you bet on, I don't know much about the casino. If you bet on the blackjack table and you bet number 14 red, for example, and you put all your money on one number, one color, the stakes are pretty high. However, if that little dice lands into number 14 red, you are going to get a very big return. You're going to be winning a lot of money. If that little dice does not go onto the 14 red, you also stand to lose everything. So that is what the risk, the stakes are high, but you can have high returns. So that's something that as a person who's investing, you would have a look at: what kind of person am I? Am I a risk taker? Can I take the risk? So for example, you are 18 years old, young, still got your whole life ahead of you. You can take a little bit more risk in your investment strategies while you're young, because you've got some time to kind of recoup and get it back if anything goes wrong. Me, as a 46-year-old young lady, I obviously cannot take as much risk because I don't have that much time, from a working point of view, to try and gain my money back. So that's something that you would need to have a look at based on who you are as a person. So risk, high return. Return on investment is what money are you going to get back? So you have a look at the return on the investment. What are my returns? Are my returns high, as in I'm getting quite a bit money back, or are they low and conservative and very low risk? Okay. Then the rule with investments always is the longer you have something in an investment, the better, because things will start to even out. So they always say in shares, you invest for 10, 15, 20 years, and don't look at the graph, because the graphs generally go down, and a lot of people get fearful when you hit that down spike. But in general, things are always evening out, and in shares it always is going up, but you need time. So the longer you put in, the better. Think of even an artwork. You buy an artwork, the longer you keep it, or South African coins, South African rands from way back when, the longer you keep it, the more you're going to be able to get a return on, the more valuable it becomes. Diversification. Write that word down, put it up on your wall. You're going to always talk about diversification in investments. What does it mean? It means to be diverse. It means to not put all your eggs in one basket. When you are investing, you're not going to take all your money and put all your money on one company in one share on the stock exchange one. Because if things go wrong, then what? You lose everything. You're not going to be that high risk, high stakes casino man. Okay, so basically you're going to diversify. You're going to put some money into property, some money into the bank, some money into shares, some money into debentures, whatever that might be. You're going to have a combination of various assets. Right, let's look at our strategies. The first strategy we're going to look at that you could talk about in a paper section C is growth strategies. Now, a growth strategy is typically a high risk strategy. You're going to have long-term capital growth. See the period of time? It's long-term. And if it's a growth strategy, you're going to be putting your money into the JSE, into blue chip companies. It's going to be shares. A balanced strategy is going to be a medium risk portfolio. There's going to be capital growth and a monthly income. I'll explain to you where you're getting that monthly income from. What are you going to be putting your money into? Well, some of it will go into equities, which is your shares. Some will go into a fixed deposit, which is the bank. And some you're going to be renting out a property. So that's going to go into property. You're going to buy a property and you're going to rent it out. So that monthly income is coming from the rent of your property. And remember, your fixed deposit, you earn interest on a fixed deposit. The next strategy that you're going to look at is a defensive strategy. Defensive, low risk. What did I say about low risk? Low return. So you're not going to have as high as the growth or even the balanced. What are you looking at here? Well, you're looking at a monthly income. You're going to have some capital growth. Where are you going to be putting your money into? Small amounts of equities, only a small amount into shares. You're going to put fixed deposit and rent again from your property. The difference between your balanced is that your equities here is probably 50% equities and the rest is fixed deposit and rent, or it could be 60-40 split. Over here, it's going to be a 40-30 split, 40% of equities and the rest is going to be in the bank. Okay, defensive. Then we're going to look at our conservative strategy. And there's no risk in this. What are you going to do? It's going to be monthly income, maintaining capital amount from the investments. You're not going to be looking at shares because shares is risk. Only in property and cash instruments that are supplied by the bank. Again, cash instruments from the bank, your return on investment is going to be lower than if you had shares or anything else that was a little bit more high risk. Grade 12s, remember what I said to you. It really depends on you as a person. So your investor will do a risk profile on you. And depending where you are in your life, it will then determine which strategy. Is it growth? Is it a balanced strategy? Is it a defensive strategy or a conservative strategy? Right. With that said, I am going to be posting another post with all the options that you can consider in investing. Have a wonderful day. Study hard.